Okay, so good evening, everybody. Welcome to the fourth Music Minds Forum on issues facing the music industry. And we have a great topic today. We are tackling the ban on musicians and celebs, basically, on alcohol products. And so we have our esteemed host, El Ankra, celebrated veteran broadcaster. We are privileged to have him in a room to host these distinguished guests. So, welcome, El. Please take it away.
Thank you, Hama. Good evening. Thanks, Hama. Thanks, Music Minds. I'm happy to take my turn to host this week's edition of Music Minds. And the topic, as Hama said, is the FDA ban on celebrity endorsements of alcoholic products. The question is it a laudable cause or an unfair target on celebrities? But let me just give you a broad background. The Food and Drugs Authority in about 2018, I'll clarify the date with our special guest, but in around 2018, they issued a ban that prohibited or barred celebrities from advertising or endorsing alcoholic products. Well, this ban did not go down well with most celebrities, especially musicians, as according to them, this affects their extra financial liquidity. There are others who also felt the intent of the ban was too hard to swallow because there seemed to be some leakages on the intent of the ban. And yet there were some other badge who rather thought they could see the glass as being half full rather than being half empty, in which case they agreed with the need to protect our youth from the hazardous of the effects of alcohol consumption, but yet they still felt they were seeing some kind of double standards on the part of the FDA because they had been unfairly isolated. Music Minds this week decided, okay, let's halt with all the debates and get some clarity on the issue. So we have some distinguished gentlemen in the house. A strong representative from the Food and Drugs Authority, and then some strong representation from the celebrity field. So we come around the table for a sober reflection on the matter. Let's look at the panel we have. Mr. William Agbavitor is in the house, is the Senior Legal Officer of the FDA. He is our special guest. Our other special guest is Bobby Banson, who is from the Robert Smith Law Room. He will be joining us later. And we have also in the house Xavier Seven, who's a music producer. And then Kofi Ansah Boachi, you all know him as Beat Minister. He's a multidisciplinary artist, a record producer, and a founding member of Audio Engineers and Producers Association of Ghana. And then Philip Wangens, a digital and media strategist. He's joining us from Switzerland. Hama, the last two who introduced us right now, is also in the house. He's known in private life as Edward Nanapoku Osei. This time he wants to be seen in the capacity as a marketing executive and an advertising expert. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us and thanks for being around. I will start with Mr. Agbavitor. Are we allowed to drink beer on the show? Okay. Right. So let's go around the table. We are not getting your sound, sir. We are not getting his sound.
I think it's muted. It's muted.
Okay. Is he okay now?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, I asked if we are allowed to drink beer on the show.
We are live and you are well known, so it will not be. It will not augur well for the general, particularly the youth who are looking up to you.
Yeah. So we're going to have a cheerful conversation. We're going to be in high spirits. There will be no fermentation of unnecessary tension in the house. It will be self-service. Everybody can come in and talk. But we expect to learn a whole lot from Mr. William Agbavitor. Let me start with you, sir. Please, let's go around the table. Let's take some brief comments on the issue we are going to discuss tonight. Mr. Babito, over to you, sir.
Thank you. I wanted to come out with a well-scripted, at least a slide, but unfortunately I've been a bit tight, so I couldn't do that. So you pardon me for that.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's going to be conversation. Actually, it's going to be very casual. Yeah.
Right. So let me start by thanking the organizers. I must say it's a very relevant topic to both sides. Just as you rightly introduced, it is as if we have put an unnecessary, limitation or ban on the celeb side, so as not to make their small, income. But I must say that for the general good of all of us, including them and those who look so much, up to them. So I must commend the organizers for such an important, topic. I don't know, should I go on and give a brief summary of the whole thing before the question time comes?
No, we'll come back to you.
Very well.
For some more detail. And I have to say quickly that Mr. Panji Anof, CEO of Pigeon Music, will be joining us. Also, Kofi Boachi, Beatmenace, will also be joining us. Let's take Philip James. Let's take your opening comments, please.
Oh, okay. Good evening to everyone here and viewers at home who have also joined us. I think this issue is quite interesting, and it's created a lot of facade, and people really want to understand why the FDA took the decision to create the ban, because I think most of our celebrities, one of their income streams is on endorsement, of course. So before people throw out the brouhaha and everything, I think it's actually good on our part to be able to put the information out there, allow people to understand the basis within which the ban happened, for us to also be able to understand if it's actually just to inconvenience our celebrities, or what the decision of the FDA to the larger extent is something that is there to help the general populace and the country as a whole. So I think this is going to be an interesting night, and we would, at the end of the day, it's no everybody wins here, because it's all for the betterment of the country. So that's the brief or the preamble of what I want to say at the moment.
Thank you, Philip. If Seven is around, can you also give us your opening comment?
Well, I've been following this for a while, simply because my company, what I do mostly is try to connect artists with brands. That is what I try to do. Whether it's Fine Milk, whether it's an alcoholic brand, whether it's any other brand. So that's like a huge dent in business if you can't get the end. Most people don't know, but like the Hennessy's, the Cirocs, and these other brands, they've helped a lot of artists. Like if you have a show, or if you have any type of event, most of the time they're on board to help out. Sometimes they can give from free drinks to actually giving money for you to have your event, etc. So with them not in the picture right now, we are suffering. So basically, I hope that something will come out of this, and hopefully there will be more lenient towards certain things. Maybe not endorsements, but at least if they can still accept money from some of these companies for events, for shows, and these things where there will not be kids there. Because if there's a show at a nightclub, there's definitely not a kid going to be there. So somehow they should be a bit lenient when it comes to that. So that's what I hope that we can achieve.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So back to you. Can I call you William?
That's fine. I'm cool.
Sure. Okay, good. So for a deeper clarification, let's open with your overview of what FDA is about. FDA, the mandate, so that we get to appreciate where you're coming from, even from source.
Very well. Thank you very much, L. So let the FDA That's the Food and Drugs Authority. In fact, I'll be interchanging it. So you hear me say authority.
Correct.
I may say FDA, but I mean the same thing. So our core mandate, let me say that even proud to the current legal regime under which we were, that's Act 8, that's the Public Health Act 2012 at 851. The Food and Drugs Authority, as we know it, used to be the Food and Drugs Board at the time, which was basically operating or established under the then Act, which is the Food and Drugs Act, PNDC law. It was PNDC law 305B, which actually regulates its activity. It was later amended somewhere in 1996 to introduce some elements, of fortification of salt. So that was somewhere in 1992 when it was first established. It wasn't until 1997 that the board was actually inaugurated, and it took, it started work. So that has been the mind. Let me say that the mandate at the time wasn't that much different from what we have now. Just to say that we now have much more expanded, mandate as compared to what we used to have under the old legal regime. So under the current regime, that's the Act 851. When you look at that, the Public Health Act. Is it okay?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, that's the Public Health Act 2012 at 851. It's actually structured in parts. So we have right from Part 1 up to Part 9. And the Food and Drugs Authority's mandate are enshrined in Part 6, Part 7, and Part 8. So you pick Part 7, which talks about tobacco control measures. You pick Part 7, and it deals with food, drugs, household cosmetics, and household chemical substances, and all the likes. Then you go under Part 8, and it talks about clinical trials. So that is the areas under which we have absolute control under the Public Health Act. So particularly under Section 80 of the Act, it established the FDA. And this is how he put it. He said, there is hereby established a body corporate to be known as the Food and Drugs Authority. You go under Part 8, that's Section 81 and 82, and it gives the object and the functions of the FDA. So Section 81 says the object of the authority is to provide and enforce standards for the sale of food, herbal medicinal products, cosmetics, drugs, medical devices, and household chemical substances. Then you go under Section 82, which spelled out the functions of the authority. Let me just pick the first one, which is to ensure adequate and effective standards for food, drugs, cosmetics, household chemicals, and medical devices, and the like. And the last point says, perform any other functions that are ancillary to attaining the object of the authority. So basically, these are the broad mandates of the authority. And we normally will categorize them into, by using 3 keywords, that the mandate of the authority is to ensure quality, is to ensure safety, and to ensure efficacy of all the regulated products. So when we talk about the mandate of the authority, these are the broad areas we control.